Hey, it's time to go beyond Plus Ultra for another episode of Boku no Hero Academia.
Yeah, it is that time again.
Yes.
Are you ready to get wrapped up in a frog tongue?
He seemed to enjoy that a little bit too much.
I mean, come on. You wouldn't?
No?
I don't know, man. You don't know how it feels.
Would you?
I don't know. I'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. Hey, look, I'm open to new experiences. I don't know about you.
This isn't okay, this episode. This was. I know I say this every week, but this was a good episode.
Can I add something?
Yes.
Can I add the new name to this episode?
So you're saying, even though it's Make It Happen Shinzo, you have your own title.
I have my own title, yes.
And it is?
Boku no Hero, or sorry, let's just go with the English title. My Hero Academia: The Secret of the Ooze.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
You are not wrong.
I didn't think so.
Oh, the secret of the ooze. Yes.
I felt it was very appropriate.
Yes.
All right, what actually happens here? We basically pick right up where we left off with people freaking out.
Oh, and it seems that Shinzo, his power is a little bit like the Death Note in that they can't do complex things when they're under his control.
He can't make them think to do something. Like, he can give them direct commands, but anything that would take some kind of intuition or like thought to do, that's about it. Like, basically he can command the body and that's about all he can do.
Like he can say, "Take this test for me."
Yeah, he couldn't do something as simple as, well, hey, uh figure this out. Although I am curious, because the way it's worded, it makes me wonder, would he be able to get like vital information out of enemies, for example, like as an interrogator? Or would that be considered thinking?
That will probably be considered thinking.
Or are they just rattling off things that they know?
Good point.
Like, he's not asking them to solve a problem the way he would have before.
Like, but he said, "Give me the name of the frog girl." They wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, but he's got to think of the frog girl. It's not tell me what the plan is.
Oh. Oh.
My question would be, can he point to Sue and say, what's her name? Or is that too much? Or is it just, see, that this is where I'm getting a bit confused on how much is thinking and how much isn't. Is it as simple as it's basically the body and any thought process is just shut down? Because I mean, if that's the case, no, it would have to be. It would have to be literally just the body and not the mind in any way. Because otherwise, they could literally use his power to make out whoever. It's been a while since we mentioned this, but whoever the fuck is the mole in UA.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, there's a spy in there that they still haven't figured out.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, if it was as simple as, oh, hey, are you the spy? They could just use him and be like, all right, everybody just sit down. You're going to answer this kid. You're going to be under his control. Don't worry. Rest of us will be supervising. But he's going to ask you if you're the spy. And you'll be forced to answer correctly otherwise. Like, I can't imagine. Maybe like yes or no answers you might be able to get out. But even then, that would make that situation way too easy to solve.
Hmm.
I feel like direct questions would be like severely limited to say basically yes or no answers. But
Maybe.
maybe that's still too much thinking. It's hard to say. They did do the thing I mentioned before where they shoved him into one of the air bubbles so that way he couldn't talk.
Right, right. And those air bubbles seem denser than I thought.
Well, they're denser than they were before, so the dude's been practicing.
Right.
Oh, and I was I listened to another review recently that reviewed like the first 3 episodes, and they made a very good point. It was Team 4 Star. It was a very good point of like what they should have done with that first episode was introduce us to Class B, not Class A.
Oh.
That would have been a way better idea because there are characters there we've A, never met before, and B, ones that we haven't seen since season 2.
Oh, and speaking about that, we find out what the fourth member does.
Yeah, he got scales, which is a pretty cool one. I've seen something similar, and I can't remember where scales were also used to shoot. Like, obviously, he's using it through gauntlets, but like, like somebody could naturally use them as a weapon. I can't remember what it was, whether it was an anime, a game, or something else.
Oh, so not
But I
this
remember
series.
something, not this series. It was something else.
Mm.
But I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. But I remember it was scales, and it could have even been a book. I don't remember. But yeah, it was like you could regrow scales, you could shoot them off. If I remember right, there was also like a period of time that it took for them to regrow. Unlike this kid, those scales were not like an instant thing. Like they had to grow back, and it took a couple of days. Either way, it's a cool power. I like it. It's neat. I don't understand the costume that goes along with it, but it's neat. I'm trying to think, like what.
It seems
God,
that we had a very slight rematch between Electro Boy and Vine Girl.
literally, her name is Vine.
Oh!
It is just Vine.
Oh, okay.
They even had a nice little title card with like the vine wrapped around the letters of her name.
Charge Bolt.
And I believe it's Kaminari? I think that's his actual name.
Denki Kaminari.
Okay, I was right. Yeah, cool.
Wait. Oh my god, is that a pun?
Probably.
I think Denki in Japanese is electricity.
Might be. I wouldn't put it past these guys to make up stupid pun names. We've seen what Toriyama's capable of.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm still waiting for the soup character to show up in that series. Who's going to be called a soup? Who's Mizu? Or Mizo?
Chowda.
His name's going to be Misu with 2 O's.
Oh, wow. Is that Beast can change on the fly to human size and back?
I feel like that was mentioned in the profile of him last episode at the very end. But yes, it's really cool. He can flip back and forth, though he stays just as hairy.
Yeah.
I will say, here's a question. I do wish he was called Sasquatch instead, but is this just Beast from X-Men who's not blue and young?
No, I don't ever remember Beast being able to human form himself. I just remember Beast always being big and bulky.
Mm-hmm. No, but it's like the idea of like, oh, it's a beast. It's a character who can just be a beast.
In that case, yes.
Like, it's just a young beast with the ability to bounce back and forth between human and bestial form.
Yeah.
Except he's not super intelligent.
No.
He's clever, but he's not hyper intelligent the way Hank is.
Right.
I think I remember right. His first name's Hank. What else goes on here? We have him like getting thrown around a lot. Eventually, they just take off with Hardened Boy. I'm blanking on. I am terrible with names.
Red Riot.
Yes, Red Riot. Because he's the bigger threat in their minds. So he like runs off while the others are like, fuck, shit, we're just getting thrown around. And it's basically just Sue and Denki just smashing open that cube that poor Shinzo's in. Shit, what happened to Antivoice guy? How did he get captured again?
I think it was Beast.
Oh no, Beast carried him off and Beast tossed Red Riot into the vines.
Right.
And he was captured that way. That's how that went down. So yeah, they're basically like sitting back in their base like, look, we lost 1, but we got 2. So it's a 3-on-3 right now. It's even odds at the moment.
And who's
And
that Mr. Vlad from Class B teacher? Is he a literal vampire?
I'm not actually sure what his quirk is off the top of my head.
Uh,
I do like the gag of like he needs to be more impartial.
yeah.
He's almost as bad as Clone Boy, who's just screaming about how bad Class A is
Uh,
and how B's going to just crush them all.
let's just see here. Vlad King quirk blood control. Uh,
Oh god, he's bloodbending.
he can manipulate their blood after it's left their body. So, uh, he can
Wait,
really.
wait.
Yes.
Question. And obviously, you probably don't have the answer to this. But for those that actually listen, I have a question. For those that know, would he be able to slowly draw the blood out of people?
It,
Like if he. No. Hold on, hear me out. I'm not done.
okay.
So remember how like water tends to travel with water and it stays connected, right? Like when you
Yeah.
stick a straw in your water and it climbs up the straw,
Yeah.
like even above the water line. And the same can be done with blood, I'm fairly certain. If he slowly draws it out, will blood just keep flowing? Like he could technically just keep the blood like a wound open and the blood would just keep flowing out.
I am not sure because it says he can freely control his blood once it left.
Oh, his own blood. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was other people's blood. All right, never mind.
No. So,
All right, then ignore that completely. All right.
so if he gets cut, he can make the blood form like a blood lasso or something.
Yeah, we're just talking Dead Man Wonderland here.
Kind of.
It's just all of Dead Man Wonderland. He's gonna have crow claws. And have blood bullets.
So I kind of like Frog Girl's plan. Coat everybody in mucus so they all smell the same.
Well, hey, look, it's great that it's a callback all the way to season 1.
Right.
I'm waiting for when the stomach thing becomes an actual, like, useful part of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, clever. Using Beast, who's like talking about how great his sense of smell is, and using that against him by coating them in shit that smells like Sue. That's clever. And hell, it definitely works to the point that like they grab Kaminari, pull him in, and he's like, "I'm gonna shock you." And hell, if it had even worked in the end, where it would have gotten to his tracker, like that would have been even better.
Yeah.
Like he could have taken potentially Beast out right there. But no, it didn't work. And then Shinzo gets in and just mind controls Vine. Just like, yeah, I'm hiding over here. You went ahead and said some things, and I said things back, and you answered, and now you're just immobile.
I'm not too sure if he is terrifying or not with his quirk.
Who?
My control kid. Shiso.
Terrified of what though? His own quirk? Or...
terrifying. Meaning that like his quirk can, and like the fact that he can manipulate his voice, you have no idea if you're going to be manipulated or not.
As long as he's hidden, yeah. He could literally do just about anything if he's hidden and has enough time to get A, close enough so that way you hear the voice, and B, get it tuned in to somebody that you would normally answer to.
And that's terrifying.
More terrifying than ghost zombies.
Okay, ghost zombies. Ghost zombies are pretty damn scary.
I'm gonna drag JoJo into this somehow.
Yes. Stone Ocean has been announced, so yay.
Best JoJo showing up. So Vine's basically out of commission for the moment. Scales notices Suyu while Beast is running off towards Shinzo, and all the while he's pointing that Suyu's that way, but he won't talk because he doesn't trust that it's not a trick to get him controlled again.
Mm-hmm. And with Beast to realize that the voice is real is say like, Apocalypse Beast.
Yeah. That literally the fact that you called him Apocalypse Beast is like triggered him into realizing, wait a minute. Because Sue seems to pretty handily beat up Scales and then use him as a wrecking ball with her tongue to take out Beast. Which leads to like Vine waking up inside the cell, having captured her own teammates and probably just walked herself inside.
So could you say capture your own teammates?
I mean, that's a physical thing you can just do. Yeah, I would assume. I don't know how specific he has to be. Like, will the person just use, like, say, capture your teammates in the most efficient way that they have, or just like the way they would do it normally, like subconsciously, if they were doing it without thinking? Like, if I told you to butter a piece of bread, are you going to go grab a knife and butter it, or are you going to just grab the butter with your hand and slap it on the bread? Right? Like, is it just the way that your body would automatically do it, or is it just going to be simplest, easiest, immediate option?
Huh. Good point there.
Because we don't know how specifically, because all we've seen him do so far with this is just get them to not do anything. Anything that he's actually told them to do has been off screen. We haven't seen it. Like, even with Deku, the only thing he told him to do was walk off the ring in season 2. And that was it. We didn't get into the nitty gritty of exactly how the fuck far can he push this ability.
Yeah.
I'm super curious, though, to see what next one's going to be, because they have Mushroom Girl in the next one. I want to know what her quirk is. I forget if we've seen it or not in season 4, I think it was, when they had the provisional license exam. Yes. I think she was in there, but I don't know if we ever saw what her quirk is. They also like really hyped up Dark Shadow at the end of this and what Tsukiyomi can do.
Yeah.
Some new ability he's been using abroad that he'll be debuting in Japan now.
Do you think the villains might try to use Shinso for their own purposes? I'm not too sure how they would get him on the side of the villains, but I was gonna say, like, see that happening.
Considering he could just brainwash them while he was captured, especially if they did it as sloppily as they did, like, Bakugo when they captured him. He's just gonna mind control one of them and have them beat each other up.
Yeah, fair enough.
Bakugo was enough of a problem with exploding sweat. This kid can mind control people. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to be real clever or have something created to really make that happen, to stop that.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking for storylines that probably will never happen.
I mean, it's an interesting idea. It's just that there needs to be some kind of MacGuffin to make it not happen. Like, to bypass the mind control. Like, I don't know, knock him out and toss him into, like, a holding cell that has a one-way mirror and you only speak through speakers. Because that was one of the limitations on his, was that, like, going through a megaphone or, like, a telephone or something will not... His quirk won't trigger.
Which is kind of interesting.
It does make it way less powerful in that regard. It also makes it way less powerful because he says he needs to concentrate on who he's controlling.
Yeah.
So mass brainwashing is not an option.
Although it might be possible 4, 5, 6 years down the line for him.
He might be able to get more people, but I don't think he'd really break more than 3. It'd be really difficult to do. Especially the way it's been set up so far. Now, I'm gonna jump this into a different thing for a second, just because this is an interesting concept. So there was a book I was reading, right, that kind of took this idea to a certain degree, where, like, to do magic you need to concentrate on something. Mm-hmm. And the idea was like, cool, can you break your mind into multiple fragments, essentially, to focus on multiple things at the same time? Where it's like, all right, I'm focusing on this with this part of my brain, then this part of my brain's here focusing on it. Almost like you're creating multiple personalities, I guess, to a certain degree, or like maybe micro personalities, while each one works on a certain focus, and then just reassemble, those pieces at the end whenever you're done with it. It's not very clear, at least from what I can remember, because it's been a minute since I've read it. But it was such an interesting idea to just like break your mind and use that as the terminology. But yeah, if Shinzo could do something akin to that, then I would say totally he could do multiple people, or if there was some device or something that helped him split that focus. Oh, I'm curious. It's an interesting ability, and with the limitations that they're putting in place so far, it does limit how ridiculously overpowered it can be, and that definitely tells me that the author even knows, like, yeah, this shit's gonna be broken as fuck unless I put some barricades in the way.
So since Class A won the first match,
Uh-huh.
what do you think the final outcome will be? Will it be a 2-2 going into the fifth round and Class A comes out on top?
I feel like that would be the most interesting. Honestly, I almost would prefer if Class A loses.
Oh.
Actually gives, Class B some shine. Showing them that, like, look, even though they haven't been able to get pulled into these crises that Class A gets in, they can still compete. It would also show what characters still need, more growth in working as a team and such. That said, I can see the arguments why Class A would win, where it's like they've had more opportunity to be in these, situations, and as such have learned how to adapt to situations faster than Class B would have.
I was initially thinking Class A was going to win, but now, once I heard your side of things, part of me is going, yeah, there is a chance Class B might win, but we're going to have to find out later this season.
I mean, we'll find out. It'll probably be around episode 12 or 13 when it ends, and we'll find out who wins. I don't know. I'm curious. So far there's not a lot of high stakes in this, but it's a curious one. We'll see what villains are doing in the background, hopefully at some point, to build some suspense.
I, I don't think we'll be checking in
Ooh.
for the rest of this arc.
I was gonna say, hold on.
What?
All right, so I'm thinking for a minute. I don't think this is gonna happen, but would it be interesting if this whole arc is a bait and switch, and like 2/3 of the way through the villains invade for whatever reason, and we have a whole new like situation unfolding in the middle of this arc?
Ooh!
Just like a complete bait and switch where the villains are actually here now, or like a bunch of Nomu just got unleashed on the school.
But that already happened back in season 3.
No, that was in a city. That wasn't at the school.
I thought the school was attacked at one point.
It was attacked in the season 1 where they brought one Nomu.
Oh.
But I mean, they have access to essentially, I'm going to assume, an army, or at least a super tough learning Nomu.
Oh, wow. You just made me very interested in this.
Hey, I'm pulling this out of my ass. I have no idea, and I don't think it'll happen, but it would be an interesting way to just 180 this into something that's like, oh shit.
Well, we're going to find out that and many more things next week. Join us, won't you, for more reviews of Boku no Hero Academia, Season 5. Anything to say before we go?
Cowabunga, dudes.
Plus Ultra!
You've seen the secret of the ooze.
The secret of the ooze. Oh my god.